This episode of The Young Turks brought to you by Jack Threads for the win.
The latest Facebook scammer, right? Except he's more than just a scammer. He's a pervy wanker. All right,
Of course,
which is not difficult to find on Facebook. That's what Facebook is for.
It's not difficult to find online. It's not difficult to find in the real world.
Right. So what this scammer does is he looks for college freshmen and, of course, females, and he tries to convince them to send naked pictures. And he has actually been successful.
But that's not the funny part of the story. And the story is unfortunate, of course, and not amusing in any way. But he gets them to try to eat their underwear.
Okay. All right. So I want to go to the video and we'll discuss it. It'll give you a little more detail.
Okay.
Things were looking good for Ashley Atchison, kicking off her college experience here at Florida State University. A freshman ready for new classes and new friends. Ashley even got a bid to pledge a popular sorority, Kappa Delta.
This was exciting.
Right, exactly. This was big.
But just days later, sitting in her dorm room, Ashley logged into Facebook. And up popped the chat window from a pretty girl claiming to be a sorority sister at Kappa Delta.
The first conversation was about 2 hours long and very thorough, in-depth. They basically said, you know, tell me anything about you, what your personality is like, why you decided to join a sorority, how was your family life, how was high school.
So you're thinking this is real?
Yes, definitely. I had no question in my mind.
It went on for days. Ashley thought it was all part of pledging. But then the conversation turned.
They asked me what color underwear I was wearing, and then they asked me to go even further and ball them up and put them in my mouth.
They wanted you to take a nude picture of yourself.
Yes, they did. He kept reassuring me, you know, this is for the sisterhood.
Police say Ashley isn't the only victim. The scam artist is hitting several schools in the Southeast. Not only FSU, but also the University of Florida, Auburn University, and the University of Alabama, and LSU.
It could be a man, a woman, it could be kids. It may not even be in this country. Right now, this person appears to be targeting, sorority students, but we don't know who this person or persons could be targeting next week.
Ashley says she never sent nude photos, but police say most of the victims have. After all, the mystery messenger somehow knew where they live, their class schedules, everything. Seemed like normal hazing. But when Ashley tried to cut off communication, it got even worse.
They basically threatened to use my secrets. They threatened me that 2 girls were outside of my dorm room that could come up and handle me.
Ashley went straight to police and learned the truth. She was scammed. Scared and vulnerable, Ashley has left school, now living back home with her mom.
My biggest fear now is that sitting behind a computer screen getting nude photos from girls is not going to be enough for them, and they could attack someone physically. Finding out who is behind all this would definitely help me sleep at night.
Things were looking...
Yeah.
All right, look, obviously there's disastrous parts of this story, okay?
Right.
The fact that he knows where they live and what they've done is super scary.
The fact that he pretty much ruined this girl's college life. She's not even going to college anymore. She's homeschooling.
Well, that's her fault. Look, don't get me wrong. If they catch us, I'm a bitch, right? Full extent of the law, et cetera, right? But you can't be so fragile that you got scammed on Facebook and somebody told you to eat your underwear and you freak out and you run home. I mean, guys are going to want you to eat your underwear, you know? And so it's okay. Stay in school. I mean, and then, of course, the police should do everything they can to try to find this guy because obviously, I mean, the threats, there's 2 girls behind the door. Okay, it's a threat, right? That didn't sound that scary, but you know, no, don't get me wrong. I mean, the fact that he is in their personal lives and knows things about them, that is super freaky, right? And the cops need to get very, very serious about it. But I'm a bad man. When she said roll up the underwear, and you know, I was like, that's, come on. But you see, why would a sorority sister want you to eat your underwear?
Yeah, but that's the thing. She didn't fall for the scam. She didn't eat her underwear.
Right.
But some other girls have fallen for it, and some other girls have actually sent him nude photos, which blows my mind. How do you do that? Why do you give him more to, like, you know?
I know, but that goes to point number 2, okay, which is stop sending nude pictures of yourself online. And you know, in the middle of the story, they're like, they don't know if it's a man or a woman. I got news for you. It's a man, okay? It's definitely a man. He's definitely a pervy wanker. And the minute you send him nude pictures, he's got huge blackmail over you.
Exactly. That's what I was going to say. You're giving him more to work with.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
I didn't mean it that way.
But listen, Don't send nude pictures. It's never going to work out for you if you send it online. Just think, you think you're sending it to the right person. What if somebody intercepts the picture, even if it is the right person? And what if it's not who you think it is, whether it's a young girl, guy, or whatever, and it's a 48-year-old scary dude with a beard in the bushes? Okay? Don't do it. Okay? So now God knows what that guy has done with those pictures and who else he's done this to, and he continues to do it because he's probably had some success. I mean, it's disaster on top of disaster.
What also amazes me is it really that difficult to catch this guy? Really?
They gotta be able to trace it, don't they?
Can't you easily trace it through an ISP? I don't get it. I feel like with the internet, people can get away with murder. They can do whatever they want and there's absolutely no consequence.
Which to me sounds crazy because you know that if any of us did anything slightly wrong, cops would instantly trace it back. They'd be like, oh yeah, that was your IP address, right? And you're done.
Exactly.
Okay, so I never get that. The bad guys always seem to get away with it, and the good guys always get caught on the slightest thing.
Yeah, like the authorities in that video were like, he's a really bad guy. He's really targeting these young girls, but we don't know who he is. Could be a man, could be a woman, could be a kid. I don't know.
Yeah, it could be in China, it could be in Mongolia. No, dude, this IP address, there's got to be a guy who can figure it out.
Right.
I mean, if that's my daughter that they're doing that too, I'll be like, listen, motherfucker, I'll get the programmer, okay? I'll get Rajesh on it, and we'll figure this shit out in half an hour, okay?
And the truth is, they can figure it out. And I'll give you a perfect example. They found the person who hacked into Sarah Palin's email account.
Yeah, that's it. When they care.
When they care, they can do it.
Okay, JR.
Well, no, it wasn't with the criminal active, but she's an idiot. I mean, I think we can, that's the general consensus. But she actually didn't stick the underwear in her mouth. Is that what we're saying?
No,
she didn't go that far.
And besides which, I don't think she's an idiot because, like, it's normal for her to assume it's a sorority sister in the beginning.
This is why she's an idiot. If it was a sorority sister, don't do it for her either. Who cares? Is it that important for you to get in a sorority where they're going to say, oh, so stick your underwear in your mouth and sit in front of the camera naked? Oh, we want you in, friend. Fuck them. If your kid's going to do that, you fucked up somewhere.
Jack Threads is a new sponsor for TYT. They're a members-only online shopping club, but because you know us, you're going to get in. Aren't we cool? But here's the key part to it, 80% off. Hello, up to 80% off of some of the top apparel lines in the country. Game over.
Right.
So go to jackthreads.com/TYT because it's free to join, and you get all those discounts, and you avoid the pain in the ass. The ending of this commercial is a little schwang wang wang.